It's the wine sings very beautifully to me in my glass here.
Oh
So
God! Any more puns?
No, that's not what. That was an illusion. Rather. That was a poetic illusion. So Fabien, how are you? Ça va?
Ça va, très bien. I'm very fine, thank you.
Bordeaux sort of really, it's like a microcosm of all the world's regional wine, not regional wines, terroir, where the whole region has been divvied up into different wines. So on the Médoc side, there's no hard and fast rule, but they're mainly Cabernet Sauvignon dominated. On the other side of the river, they're mainly Merlot dominated. And then this side of the river, you've got where all the sort of the sweet ones come from. Not exclusively sweet, but lots of the famous Sauternes and Premier Côte de Bordeaux, Barsac, all of those. And then in the middle, you've got the Entre-deux-Mers. And Entre-deux-Mers means between two seas. So where you see where the river splits. So this is the sort of the big tract of land in the middle there between the two rivers. And this is where, Fabien, this is where Château Lamothe-Vincent is situated down there. So
Mark, just to accompany the kind of geography lesson and the terroir.
We've got to drink some wine.
Can we drink some wine?
And so this one, I think, so Sauvignon Blanc is it's a crisp and it's a refreshing Sauvignon Blanc. It's a lovely style. So when Fabien when they make theirs down there, they add a 13%, what they call a lichette, a little flourish of Semillon, which is a softer grape variety. So it's 87% Sauvignon Blanc, 13% Semillon, and it gives you this really lovely soft. It's got I please everybody have a swill and a slurp. It's got beautiful pineapples and exotic fruits. There's grapefruit, there's all sorts of lovely sort of rich, ripe exotic fruits going on, but with a lovely acidity. But that extra bit of Semillon softens it out, and I think that's the art of the blender.
You can feel the complexity of the different aromas with a lot of, as you said, pineapple and exotic fruit, but also citron and a lot of acacia also. I don't know the name in English, but
acacia, I think.
Acacia. Okay. So and also we want a lot of mouth-filling texture. We don't want only a crisp wine, only focus on acidity, but we are looking for the balance. This is the first goal. Even before the aromatics, we want the balance of the wine and the mouth-filling texture. And so this is one with a good balance and very good length.
I think people are quite familiar with, like, as you said, Mark, with the Sauvignon grape, partly because of the New Zealand wines, but partly because a lot of it is grown in France too. So they'll be familiar with what that tastes like. What does the Semillon, like, what are the typical like flavor profiles that come with that grape? And then what does that bring to this wine?
Oh, the Semillon is very important. It brings some citrus mainly. This is a really focused, Semillon is really focused on citrus. That brings a lot of mouth filling. This is why it is so important for us. And from the middle to the end of the mouth.
So in this blend, then it's Sauvignon Blanc, Sauvignon Gris, and Semillon.
Yeah, that's it.
Is Sauvignon Gris sort of is it just a sort of a variety of Sauvignon Blanc, or is it a separate variety in itself?
Yeah, it's quite different because the grapes are pinky first, okay. Not really green or yellow at maturity. And they've got more tannins also, so we have to be careful with extraction with the Sauvignon Gris. And the aromas are spicier, in fact, spicier and more focused on exotic fruit.
I think this is a particularly lovely wine, I've got to say. Just in terms of it's all balanced, and I get what you're saying about mouthfeel and depth of flavour.
The wine that we're drinking is a 2019 vintage. Would you recommend drinking it all now, or will it taste even better in a year or two
The peak is beginning 1 year after the harvest, so just starting now, in fact. Yeah, 1 or 2 years, we've got really the peak with the biggest complexity in aromas. Yeah, it can last up to 5-7 years.
It's crisp and refreshing, but it's soft and creamy at the same time. And I think it's a beautifully balanced wine. And you can see how beautifully manicured the vineyards are. And we'll come on to the vineyards when we come to talk about the Grand Rossignol and terroir. But tell you, when you go to there's your control panel. Each of those is a vat. And each vat is temperature controlled by computer, and you're controlling every single vat of wine to make sure that it is at the right temperature. And even if you're all gone to bed at night, the computer will make sure that everything is in the right conditions. I think.
Are we allowed to drink the Liberté now?
Yeah, I'm going to say. Well, I'll go with the flow.
Yeah,
some Liberté.
Well, I think Andrew Dixon's saying he's tried it already, because he says it tastes of Bassett's licorice, all sorts, which makes me think that.
I opened and tasted it earlier. I've got definite licorice coming through. To have a look at the color, to pour it out and have a sniff. There's zero added sulfur to it. And what you say on your website, Fabien, is that this wine is you drink it for 2 or 3 years. It could last for 3 or 4 years, and I find that remarkable for a wine with no added sulfur. So I would like you to explain, whilst we're drinking it and getting all those lovely licorice overtones, raspberries and cherries. I'm getting some violets, but I'm definitely getting some licorice there. How do you manage? Forget about how good it is, because it is delicious. This is it's 75% Merlot, 25% Malbec, got no added sulfur. So how do you create a wine that can last 2 or 3 or 4 years or more without sulfur?
In fact, in this wine, and not only you don't have any sulfur, but you don't have anything. This is what we could say a pure wine, because you've got only grapes. There is no Arabic gum or anything you could help to stabilize the wine or keep it safe, for many years. No, you don't have anything. The only thing we did on this wine is filtration. So before bottling, we do a filtration, and then we bottle it.
So I'm getting all sorts of things. There's spice, there's great tannins, but there's cherries, I don't know, violets. There's a whole cornucopia of flavors coming through, and I'm definitely. I mean, if I was at work, I certainly wouldn't be spitting this out.
Malbec, without any sulfur, is brimming, always brimming with a lot of flavors. And here you can find, as you said, many berry fruits, but also violet and rhubarb, even some kind of noble vegetal notes. And
this wine, I've got to say, I think has actually leapt up into one of my favorite red wines since I've just sort of sat and concentrated on it. I've decanted my Grand Rossignol into it's a Magnum Claret decanter in Bordeaux, in this very large area of Bordeaux, just in a tiny area there in the Pomerol, that bit down there, central there, is this particular sort of type of soil. This particular type of soil accounts for only 1% of the entire soil in Bordeaux, and you've got an outcrop of this particular subsoil of blue clay, and it looks like this in the close-up, and in that particular vineyard it looks like that. And it's this particular subsoil that gives the wine its character, isn't it? So I call this wine a Chateau Petrus tribute wine. Has everybody poured it yet? Because it is worth having a slurp whilst Fabien, you tell us a bit about it.
I'm really keen on pedology, which is a science of soil. And for many, many years, we have been exploring, making a systematic exploration of the soil and subsoils before each new plantation of vines we do in Château Lamothe-Vincent. And we do it with, as you said, with Xavier Chaunet, which is who is a famous pedologist here in Bordeaux. And the goal is to really understand how the vines operate with the soil. We can understand how the soil gives some minerals, some water to the vines, and then this is the definition, the basic definition of the terroir. It can retract, and then it gives some water to the vines when necessary, and when it rains a lot, it works like a sponge and prevent the vines to deletions. This is the best plot of the vineyard, as I said, and it is aged like a Grand Cru classé. So it is aged in 100% new French oak barrels from the best forest, from the Tronchet, for example, or Bertrange forest, and it is aged 18 months in French oak barrels, and only on lees without any racking. So it's very different from other producers from Bordeaux, even Grand Cru, because we do not rack the wine during 18 months. So it's on the lees always, with rotation and giving the lees to the wine that develop the texture and the length of the wine.
This reminds me, when I smell and taste this, of a Grand Cru classé wine of, it's a first or second, third growth easily. It's as good as any of those. And
if you could pick one cheese to drink with this, what would you choose?
Oh, quite difficult question. One cheese, French, of course.
Of course.
Of course.
They make cheese in other countries?
Yeah, a Brebis or a Comté would be perfect.
Brebis, nice.
But maybe you could try a Roquefort, which is
okay.
Which will be something unusual. But try it with a special bread, maybe a complete bread with many cereals,
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there's a few home bakers looking in tonight, so we'll do a pain complet, a French pain complet to go with this, and some hard. I'd have a Black Bomber Snowdonia cheddar would go very well with this as well, I think.
Why is it called the Great Nightingale, the Grand Rossignol?
Oh yeah, this is just the name of the plot of vineyard.
It's the wine sings very beautifully to me in my glass here.
Oh God! Any more puns?
No, that's not what. That was an illusion. That was a poetic illusion. You're dripping with gold medals. Every single wine you've got seems to win a gold medal. I mean, you could be the Michael Phelps of Bordeaux wines. I mean, normally gets more gold medals than you. It's not by coincidence. It's not luck. And every single wine is so beautifully. It's not just concentrated, but it's beautifully balanced.
Fabien, do you take guests, or is there a place to stay at your vineyard or your winery?
Oh yes, of course. We can receive at the winery, and we've got a cellar for private customers. You will be able to visit.
If you're in the region, let Mark know and he'll arrange it. Private tasting.
So thank you, Fabien. Thank you so much for coming in and joining us tonight. We've had 3 of your wines tonight. Every single one of your wines is a delight. So thank you very much.
Yum. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. I've enjoyed very much tasting with you tonight. I've enjoyed all the wines, and the night hasn't stopped for pleasure of wines. We're going to polish that bottle off, possibly. I might give it a good go.
Merci beaucoup, Fabien.
Yeah. Merci beaucoup, Maki.
Merci. Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Bonne soirée.
Hello, Mark and Rita from the Real Wine Company here.
Hope you enjoyed the video.
And if you did, well, we hope you did. What you've got to do, you've got to like it. Subscribe. It doesn't cost anything to subscribe, but so you just press the subscribe button, which gets more subscribers.
Like
it.
And comment.
And leave a comment or something. That'd be great. Thank you very much. Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.